Welcome. Excited to have you back in our channel's fold. If you're new, a big hello and welcome. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button to stay in the loop with all the freshest updates, news and insider info. We're absolutely stoked to have you joining us for today's Thailand news segment on our channel Thailand Asia News and Travels. Thailand, known for its vibrant culture and warm hospitality, has long grappled with the issue of gun violence. While not as prevalent as in some Western countries, the presence of firearms within Thai society has increasingly become a cause for concern. The recent surge in gun-related incidents, including tragic shootings that have shaken the nation, has brought the issue to the forefront of public debate. The statistics paint a worrying picture. Thailand has one of the highest rates of gun ownership in Southeast Asia, with an estimated 10 million firearms in civilian hands. While a significant portion of these are registered, the widespread availability of illegal weapons exacerbates the problem. The consequences are evident in the country's homicide rate, which, while relatively low compared to global averages, remains a persistent concern for authorities. The Thai government has taken notice of the growing unease among its citizens. Public calls for stricter gun control measures have intensified, fueled by a collective desire to ensure the safety and well-being of all who call Thailand home. The decision to suspend firearms licenses did not occur in a vacuum. It was precipitated by a series of tragic incidents that shook the nation and brought the issue of gun violence into sharp focus. These events served as stark reminders of the devastating consequences that can occur when firearms end up in the wrong hands. One such incident involved a shooting at a daycare centre in Nong Bua, Lamphu province. The attack, perpetrated by a former police officer, claimed the lives of over 30 people, including young children. The incident sent shockwaves throughout Thailand, leaving an indelible mark on the nation's psyche. It forced citizens and policymakers alike to confront the uncomfortable reality of gun violence within their midst. Another incident that fueled calls for stricter gun control involved a shooting at a shopping mall in Bangkok. In this case, a disgruntled employee opened fire, injuring several shoppers before being apprehended by security forces. The incident highlighted the vulnerability of public spaces and the need for enhanced security measures to prevent similar tragedies from occurring. These incidents, along with numerous other shootings and gun-related crimes, created a climate of fear and uncertainty within Thailand. The public demanded action, and the government responded with the firearms license suspension. The decision was met with mixed reactions, with some praising the government's decisive action, while others expressed concerns about the policy's potential impact on law-abiding gun owners. The suspension of new firearms licenses represents a significant shift in Thailand's gun control policy. It is a clear signal that the government is taking the issue of gun violence seriously and is committed to taking concrete steps to address it. The suspension, however, is not a permanent solution, but rather a temporary measure designed to give authorities time to assess the situation and develop a more comprehensive and long-term approach to gun control. The suspension applies to all new applications for firearms licenses, regardless of the type of firearm or the reason for ownership. Existing license holders are not affected by the suspension and can continue to possess and use their firearms in accordance with existing laws and regulations. However, the government has indicated that it is considering implementing stricter rules for gun ownership, including enhanced background checks and mental health evaluations for all license holders. The firearms license suspension is just one of several measures the Thai government is considering or has already implemented to address gun violence. Other initiatives include a crackdown on illegal firearms trafficking, increased penalties for gun-related crimes, and public awareness campaigns aimed at promoting responsible gun ownership. The government is also working to improve mental health services and provide support for individuals who may be at risk of harming themselves or others. The success of these measures remains to be seen. The suspension of firearms licenses is a bold move, but it is only a first step. The government must now focus on developing and implementing a comprehensive and sustainable gun control strategy that balances the rights of law-abiding gun owners with the need to ensure public safety. Public safety at the forefront, hopes and concerns. The suspension of firearms licenses has been met with mixed reactions from the Thai public. Many citizens, particularly those residing in urban areas where gun violence is more prevalent, have welcomed the move as a necessary step towards enhancing public safety. They argue that reducing the number of firearms in circulation will make it more difficult for criminals and individuals with malicious intent to obtain weapons. Supporters of the policy point to the recent tragedies as evidence that stricter gun control measures are long overdue. They believe that the suspension of firearms licenses, while potentially inconvenient for some law-abiding citizens, is a small price to pay for a safer society. They hope that the policy will lead to a decrease in gun-related crimes and create a more secure environment for all. However, not everyone is in favour of the government's decision. Some critics, particularly those living in rural areas where gun ownership is more common and often seen as a necessity for self-defence, argue that the suspension unfairly punishes responsible gun owners. They contend that criminals, by their very nature, disregard laws and will continue to obtain firearms through illegal means regardless of the suspension. Opponents of the policy also express concerns about the potential for government overreach. They fear that the suspension of firearms licenses could be a slippery slope towards more restrictive gun control measures that infringe upon the rights of law-abiding citizens. They urge the government to carefully consider the potential consequences of its actions and ensure that any new policies are implemented fairly and do not disproportionately impact responsible gun owners. A global perspective: gun control measures compared. The issue of gun control is not unique to Thailand. Countries around the world grapple with the challenge of balancing the rights of gun owners with the need to ensure public safety. The approaches taken by different nations vary widely, reflecting their unique historical contexts, cultural norms and political climates. In the United States, for example, gun control is a highly polarizing issue, with strong opinions on both sides of the debate. The Second Amendment to the US Constitution guarantees the right to bear arms, which has been interpreted by gun rights advocates as protecting individual gun ownership. Efforts to implement stricter gun control measures at the federal level have faced significant opposition from gun lobby groups and lawmakers who argue that such measures infringe upon the constitutional rights of law-abiding citizens. In contrast, many European countries have adopted stricter gun control measures, often in response to mass shootings or other gun-related tragedies. In the United Kingdom, for instance, handguns were banned following the Dunblane school massacre in 1996, and the country has some of the toughest gun control laws in the world. Similarly, Australia implemented strict gun control measures after the Port Arthur massacre in 1996, which included a buyback program that resulted in the surrender of hundreds of thousands of firearms. These examples demonstrate the diverse approaches to gun control adopted by different countries. There is no one-size-fits-all solution, and the most effective approach for a particular country will depend on its specific circumstances. However, the experiences of other nations can provide valuable insights and lessons for Thailand as it navigates this complex issue. The path forward: a safer Thailand for all. The suspension of firearms licenses is a significant development in Thailand's ongoing efforts to address gun violence. It reflects a growing recognition that the proliferation of firearms poses a serious threat to public safety, and that decisive action is needed to protect citizens. However, the suspension is only a first step, and much work remains to be done. The Thai government must now focus on developing and implementing a comprehensive and sustainable gun control strategy that balances the rights of law-abiding gun owners with the need to ensure public safety. This will require a multifaceted approach that addresses the root causes of gun violence, including poverty, inequality, and access to illegal firearms. Public education and awareness campaigns will play a crucial role in changing attitudes towards gun ownership and promoting responsible gun use. The government should also invest in mental health services and provide support for individuals who may be at risk of harming themselves or others. The suspension of firearms licenses is a bold move that has the potential to make Thailand a safer place for all. However, it is only through a sustained and collaborative effort involving the government, law enforcement agencies, civil society organisations and the public that lasting change can be achieved. By working together, Thailand can create a future where gun violence is a distant memory and all citizens feel safe and secure. Hey Thailand news enthusiasts! What's your stance on this headline? Sound off in the comments and let's explore different viewpoints on this news piece. Join the conversation now. That's a wrap, but keep an eye out for tomorrow's scoop. Farewell, news buffs.